Welcome to Comic Station, issue number 10, the big 1-0 for March 6, 2013. I am Paul Nisi from Front Towards Gamer.
And I'm Scott Cates of the Comic Station.
Welcome to the new releases, a review and recommendation, as another special something at the end. Welcome as every week. Welcome to the new releases for March 6, 2013. We're going to start off with the Age of Ultron from Marvel. First off, this enters in anyone that knows about Ultron usually fights the Avengers mechanized enemy. It starts off with Hawkeye rescuing Spider-Man from a den of drug thieves. One of the characters is the Owl, and of course the artwork is beautiful. They go through great action scenes. There is a beautiful work with 2 pages. Some artwork carrying over 2 pages with blocks in between, and it's really nice. And there's one scene in particular where vibration comes into play, and they make the art just enough out of focus that your eyes strain, and it doesn't quite hurt your eyes, but it definitely, you have this weird effect, so it has a good emotional impact on you as well through that. I did feel that the use of the 2 pages and the blocks in between, it just went a little excessive. Felt a little jumpy. At points lost whether it was a 2-page point or not of the issue. But, as I said, you have the Avengers. What is really cool about this, and I'm really happy about this, being a big fan of the X-Men, they're not just the Avengers, it's the Avengers and the X-Men. You're coming through here. Basically, the overall story is a dystopian future. It's already destroyed. You're entering present day. You get a vision of what could be New York. It's already in shambles. It's already having lightning bolts and all that coming down. How much more typical can you get? But you don't know how it happened. So I'm really looking forward to finding out how this future came about. I mean, the Avengers and the X-Men, they're in the sewers, basically. So it's interesting to see, and I'm looking forward to the backstory on this one.
I have not read it yet. I'm looking forward to reading it. The only caution I would put out there for everybody as a retailer is be prepared to spend a lot of money. It's a typical Marvel crossover. It is going into a lot of titles. So just be prepared to spend a few extra dollars every week. The way Marvel's been putting out books about every 2 weeks for almost all their titles, it could get pretty expensive pretty quick. So just a slight warning from my perspective, and obviously as a retailer, we hope you come in and buy all of them, but do be prepared to spend some bucks.
Yeah, it's not a self-contained title. You have the title, but then there's a lot of crossovers. So to get the whole story, they expect you to buy across a bunch of titles. So it does have a shiny, well, at least this cover has a very shiny front and back wrap cover.
That is the main cover, so it's a foil cover. So at least in our store, that's the main cover.
All right. The next one, big warning right now, not for kids. The name will say it all, and it's from Image Comics. But seeing it on the shelves, you're probably going to want to know what it is and what it's about, so that's why we're highlighting it. It is simply named Sex. Sex sells. So,
Yes, it does.
Image went right for it. Straight off the bat, the colors are very striking. It's a lot of contrasting. Reds, yellows, blues. Some people will like it, some people won't. The next thing you're going to notice is the lettering of this. It's an interesting style. It looks almost like a written notebook, especially with uses of highlights. I like the highlights, but it threw me off because with the highlights, I inferred my own inflection upon it, which gave the characters, to me, more feeling because I'm inferring my feelings on those highlights. But, again, the lettering just threw me off a little bit. I wasn't a big fan of it. Basically, it's following around a retired hero, kind of. You're kind of figuring it out. His name is Simon. He used to be, or at least you infer he used to be the Armored Saint. He returns back to his city. It's not, apparently hasn't gotten bad as it was, but it has degraded since he left. It's dirty, drugs, lots of sex, a lot of bordellos, a lot of so hence the name. And Simon is no longer the saint. You find out in the book that he made a promise not to be the hero anymore, to live his own life. And I guess he's taken that to heart because, as the title implies, there's a good scene of sex, especially at the end. It takes a long time to get going, though, unfortunately. It's very slow to ramp up. There's just 5 pages of pretty much business talk, of CEO returning, board meetings, so forth. Takes a long time to get into it. I like where it ends off with mystery. You're trying to figure out what happened, why he came back, why he left in the first place. But again, slow start, contrasting art style, interesting lettering. It's not going to be for everyone.
Yeah, the only thing I would say is, I glanced through it real quick today when it came in, because as a retailer, I have to be careful of what goes out on the shelves. It definitely has some interesting points to it, and it's certainly not for anybody under the age of 18. Although I'm sure that every teenager will disagree with that, but as a retailer, we do have to follow certain rules.
Yes.
But I'm going to check it out. I'll make a decision.
I am really surprised there's not a big explicit content sign on this. But yeah, definitely not for kids. There are not just curse words. There is obviously sex. There is not just fleshy bits showing. There is full-on scenes going on at the end. It isn't a bordello. I'll let your imagination go because I cannot get a picture in this video without having something, or it would be pretty much all black. So
it'll probably end up, with typical Image #1s, it will probably end up being hard to get at first printing and skyrocketing in price.
Yeah, it's Image. Okay, and the last one for the new releases, at least for #1s today, is Ame-Comi Girls. This is from DC. Anyone familiar with this title? If you're not familiar with it, it's an all-female cast. So you have Wonder Woman, Batgirl, Power Girl, but you also have Flash in female. You have Steel, female. They're the heroes. They're against Brainiac, again, female. They're all female. That is not a downside at all. This artwork is beautiful. The characters are great. Really funny, really witty. They do, I think, make it a little too typical for Batgirl in particular. There's one scene where she pulls up an app and she starts talking about this app. So it's definitely aimed more towards the teens and the more tech savvy and younger demographics. But it's fun, it's cute, I like it. It's just a quick read. This one in particular is carrying off of other stories. The Ame-Comi, they had their own stories going through each of the main characters. Wonder Woman and Batgirl, they all had their own. So basically the story, heroes are trying to stop Brainiac. Even the villains betray Brainiac. And Power Girl has her own, she's off in the center of the earth trying to stop Brainiac at the core. So it's interesting, it's cute, it's just fun, and again, it's more aimed towards the younger demographic. And they're trying to make something for young females, and I fully endorse that, especially in the comic world, trying to be able to apply to everybody.
Yeah, I agree. I've read all of the series going back before this came out. They're fun to read. I have no issue. I mean, I certainly...
And the artwork.
Yeah, the artwork's fantastic, and I have no issue with them changing the male characters to female characters. It really doesn't. If anything, it probably enhances the stories that they're telling.
Yeah, and they fit the characters perfectly, so it works. All right. Next, we have a review and another recommendation. Welcome to the reviews section for this Comic Station issue number 10. The first one I'm going to mention is Guardians of the Galaxy. It is up on FrontToursGamer.com. It is Guardians of the Galaxy number 0.1, so it's leading up and it goes about Star-Lord. You can see the full review on the website. But we're going to kick off with one that's actually coming out today, and that is Helheim from Oni Press. This is written by Colin Bunn, and the artist is Joel Jones. Really, really nice work by these two. Colin Bunn takes what could have been a typical Viking story that you could have read in newspapers such Camelot and such, and made it his own. It's really well done, really relatable characters. Joel Jones, amazing artwork. I really liked it, and that immediately stood out to me. It's really action-packed, great pace. They keep it up through the whole book, which is really nice to see, and really fluid artwork. The fight scenes were really nice. Makes me really looking forward to the next few issues and hoping for even bigger battles. It starts out with Ricard is the main character. They're returning from what was obviously a very unfortunate incident, trying to run from some pursuers, and ends up getting into the fight. And then at one point it turns, and Colin Bunn puts in a twist, takes it up to a whole new level, and their enemies and their friends rise from the grave as skeletal warriors, and things just... There's a reason why Helheim is the Norse hell. That is the word for Norse. The meaning behind it is Norse hell, their version of it. So there's a reason for that. They are a Viking Norse village being plagued by a witch. You don't know why the witch has particularly singled them out, or the area, but there is a little hint that Ricard's father believes that his woman Bera is... that his son's woman Bera is the cause of it, and who she's after. In a special twist, the hero of this book is Ricard. He loses his head at the end. First issue, loses his head. But don't worry, like I said, there's plenty of magic going on, and things are about to ratchet up. So I'm really looking forward to the next few issues. And you can see the full review on frontwardsgamer.com. Really, really recommend this. Alright, and we have a recommendation.
Well, what I'm going to recommend this week is a title that's been going on for a little while. It's Red She-Hulk, and I know a lot of you get tired of all the different Hulk titles. When this one changed over back at issue 58 from just regular Hulk, at the time it was Red Hulk, General Ross, and it goes right into his daughter, Betty Ross, as the Red She-Hulk. It's been very well done so far. The artwork's great. I mean, it's typical Marvel. It's very slick, but the storyline's been very, very good. Betty Ross has found a computer that's at the center of the Earth that's basically telling her all these different things, and she finds that there's a superhuman program going on for super soldiers that she's going after. That, of course, makes her public enemy #1. S.H.I.E.L.D.'s after her. The Avengers are after her. She teams up with X-51, who's an android, and they basically have an adventure going on trying to figure out what exactly is going on with the computer and a little girl who is the interface for that computer. Once again, I think it's very well done. I look forward to it. It's not a great selling Marvel title, but I believe it deserves everybody to check it out. So, you know, just give it a shot and see what you think.
Okay. Before we give our little outro, I also want to mention on frontwardsgamer.com as well as Comic Station on the YouTubes. There is also a review for Jimmie Robinson. He was the author of the recently reviewed on the last Comic Station issue #9, 5 Weapons from Image Comics. He is well known for Bomb Queen, is probably his biggest title. He got a start in 1994 with Cyberzone, which was self-published. From there, he had a few extra ones, Amanda and Gun, which was a spin-off taken up by Image Comics. And from there, he became the man he is today. We sat down with him, we talked a lot about his earlier works, and then went into 5 Guns, why he made it, why a lot of his comics, and especially 5 Weapons, was a perfect introduction for all ages. So I recommend you check that out. Again, frontwardsgamer.com has the full article, and you can see the video as well on YouTube. Alright, if you like this video, if there's anything we missed, anything you would have liked to see, any extra reviews, please feel free to leave comments, let us know, or you can always get me on my Twitter at pnisi, and you can see that on the outro as well. Feel free, and we'll see you next week.
See ya.